one of the best accessories I've actually bought for my camera has to be this Smallrig Micro HDMI to full-size HDMI adapter. My Canon M6 Mark II and my R6 both have micro HDMI, which is a notoriously delicate socket. The reason why I ended up looking for a solution and finding this Smallrig online was because I had an issue where a cable had gotten snagged and the micro HDMI cable broke. Luckily, it broke on the cable side rather than damaging the socket on my camera, because if it damaged the socket on my camera, I would have been most upset, because I actually use this camera to stream online, doing like eBay lives, TikTok lives, and it's a big part of bringing me my income. So if that had happened, I would have been really gutted. So I looked for this solution, and it's actually quite clever. It does mean it's kind of designed for people that put cages on their cameras. However, I think cages are quite easy to put on and remove, and I already had a cage for my M6 Mark II, and so I got this Smallrig adapter, which uses two like hex style screws to connect to the cage. The micro HDMI cable then plugs into your socket on the camera, and then you end up with a nice big chunky full-size HDMI port there, which you connect to your capture card, etc. And then you can stream without worries. If you move the camera, if something gets knocked, the pressure is all going to be on this this piece here, as opposed to that, because that's just going to stay put, which is absolutely fantastic. So if you do have a camera with a micro HDMI port, I strongly recommend grabbing one of these little Smallrig adapters. I'm not doing this as some kind of sponsored video. I'm not putting a link down below. You could just Google or search for Smallrig Micro HDMI to HDMI, and you get yourself one of these. Obviously, if your camera has mini HDMI or a full-size HDMI, you won't need this, but I definitely feel like if you want to just give yourself that little extra bit of protection, especially if you're a little bit clumsy like me, I feel like this little gadget cost me about a tenner, which is not much, £10, 10 GBP, and I feel like it's worth every penny. So if you do have a camera with a micro HDMI, Smallrig Micro HDMI to HDMI adapter. Thanks for watching.